Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to today's video. This episode will guide you through the issues of the New Mutants published by Marvel Comics in 1983. Issue number 8. In the jungle of South America, known to mankind as the Amazon, there is a vast complex ecological system of plants and animals. One of the animals that should not be here is a wolf. But this is no ordinary wolf. It's Rain Sinclair in a mutant form, and she's on the prowl. Moving around carefully and quietly, she's aware of everything around her. She's hunting for Danielle Moonstar, her fellow student. They're playing a game of hide and seek, and Danny is about to lose. Rain climbs up a tree in her transitional form to stalk Danielle from high above the ground, before she jumps behind her, startling Danny, scaring her even. Danielle gets grumpy and slightly angry with Rain, because she could have accidentally triggered her mutant powers on her. Rain tells her to stop yelling and that this was just a game, as she nearly faints. Danny catches her and notices she's all sweaty, and figures it's because of the climate, along with Rain still wearing her full uniform. She tells Rain that she will have to take it off, but Rain doesn't want to do that, because she thinks it to be improper in front of the boys. Speaking of the boys, Roberto and Sam are pretty close by. Surprised that Rain hadn't found them by now, with her tracking abilities, they figure she must have gotten lost in the jungle, just like they will, if they're not careful, according to Sam. But Roberto tells him that if they just follow what his mother had told them, they should be just fine. She had been roaming the jungles for a long time after all. They hear barking sounds in the distance and figure it must be Rain. When they find her, they see Rain bathing herself in a wolf form in a snowstorm, in the middle of the jungle, which doesn't make sense. It's due to Danny, who pulled Rain's wish to cool off straight out of her mind, and with the practicing she's been doing in the past couple of months, she's able to manifest her heart's desire into lifelike three-dimensional images. Roberto asks if it's real, but Danielle says it is to Rain, and that's what matters. Sam figures his training session is over, and he tells the others he will give himself a workout by using the obstacles around them to hone his maneuverability. When he first manifested his abilities, he could only fly in straight lines, but with the help of exercises in the danger room and in real life, he's gotten a lot more control over his trajectory. This is an amazing feeling to him, and he gets a bit carried away. Danielle warns him as he doesn't watch where he's going and smashes into a tree. Roberto deals with the huge tree falling in their direction with his solar fuel powers. He hits the tree and smashes it to bits. A bit later, as Roberto is setting up the team's communication link with Professor Xavier, he tells Rain that the jungle she's amazed by won't be around for much longer if humans keep destroying it as they have been, including Sam. Danny says that Sam didn't do this on purpose, but Roberto says that it doesn't matter. The end result is the same. Apparently the team had been sending the results of their training sessions in the jungle during the past couple of days to the professor. Today's session will be evaluated in time for tomorrow's call, and the professor tells them that he's very impressed with their progress thus far. Roberto asks him if there's been any word on Sean, but Xavier says there hasn't. He tells them that he thinks they must face and accept the reality that Sean is really gone. Roberto asks if they should be coming home, but Xavier tells him they're better off where they are. At the moment he's quite caught up with the new arrivals amongst the X-Men and Training Team America still. They should just make the most of their holiday. After the communication, the kids discuss noticing Professor not telling them all about Sean's apparent death. Roberto thinks he just doesn't care, but Danny tells him that even though she once would have thought the same, she thinks he's now trying to protect them from something. Sam asks her for what, and if he is, it sure doesn't feel right for Xavier to not trust him with it. Roberto tells Sam that it's because they're too young, kids still. Nobody takes the ex-baby serious. When they reach the riverbank, they see the boat arriving in the distance, and Roberto figures it will be about half an hour before they should be boarding. Danny takes off her clothes and tells the guys that they can wait all they want, but she's gonna swim to the boat, with Sam and Roberto asking if she's crazy. Aboard the boat, one of the crewmen sees Danny approaching as he dumps a bucket of trash in the water. He figures Danielle must have forgotten Roberto's mother's warning of entering the water. Danielle notices the waters around the boat are stirring up, like it's boiling, and then it hits her. There are piranhas in this river, flesh-eating fish that could eat her alive in the blink of an eye, and there's many of them. There's little she can do. She won't be able to get back to the shore quick enough, so in a desperate attempt, she hopes there's something they fear and she uses her powers on them. And to her surprise, it works. She yells out to Sam to come rescue her, but aboard the ship, Nina's gathered the rest of the crew and they will see Sam use his powers. Something he can't worry about, he tells Roberto. Danny is in too much trouble. He blasts off, plucks Danielle out of the water, almost yanking her arm out of a socket. They pass the boat, over the heads of Nina and the crew on the boat, and they crash land on the beach on the other side of the river. Only to be confronted by Amazonians right there. Sam immediately gets kicked in the face, grabs one by the ankle while lying flat on his belly. Both him and Danny end up fighting them, but the women seem to be not wanting to fight, as Danielle throws one of them on top of the others, after which they flee. She figures their attack must have been an automatic reaction to their appearance. She looks towards Sam and he is still holding on to one of them. She's struggling and saying stuff, but they can't figure out what she's saying. They had apparently been watching the boat from the shore, and Danielle wonders for how long and why. They're making their way towards the boat, and Danielle tells Sam to be on his guard, because she feels their trouble has only just begun. Aboard the boat there's some mutiny going on. One of the crewmen, called Silvera, doesn't want to be working on the boat with one of the passengers being a freak, a monster even, and the other kids might possibly be the same. The guy emptying the bucket of gunk earlier sticks up for the kids and calms the situation down before it gets out of hand. The ship's captain thanks Castro and says he wants to leave here and not be here when the Amazons return. After the sun has gone down and the ship is anchored for the night, the team and Nina try to interrogate the prisoner, but she's not saying a word. Nina, as an archaeologist, inspects the arrow knife they found, and they are of varying origin. One from a local tribe, one from Peru, which is located miles away, and one made from steel of a more modern design. Sophisticated workmanship of a level of technology uncommon to any of the Amazon tribes. Outside, the other Amazonians are on the prowl, having their sights on the boat. One of them tells the others to lower their bows because she wants to wait for the prisoner, Lady Amara, to find a way to signal them, rather than risk her life, and once she does so, they will strike. Back in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, at the mention of Emmanuel da Costa, Sunspot's father, Emmanuel is in the company of Sebastian Shaw still. Apparently the man aboard the ship, Castro, is one of Shaw's agents, trying to sabotage the New Mutants and Nina's exploration of the Amazon. Once again, Emmanuel is not impressed with the successfulness of the Hellfire Club's efforts in stopping Nina and the kids, and Sebastian says it's a difficult assignment to do so, without harming them, especially with the kids being mutants. Emmanuel then asks Shaw if he has any idea what's at stake. What kind of treasures lie hidden in the unexplored and uncharted territory? He tells Shaw he won't allow anyone to keep him from it. Shaw says that's good to hear and asks Emmanuel what about Nina, to which he responds that his feelings have nothing to do with business, and that she should have just stayed at home and should have behaved as a proper wife. A handful later step in the room and Shaw asks what the meaning of this is, and Emmanuel tells him they are here for entertainment. The boat arrives at the Madeira and it's a beautiful sight. Legend has it that there's a lost civilization hidden in those mountains, with a city of gold and ruled by gods from the other side of the world. Several unsuccessful expeditions have been trying to reach it, but many have never returned. This worries the team a bit, but the captain tells them not to worry since they are only stories. Rain makes her way below the deck and passes the cabin where the girl they captured is being held. She hears voices and walks inside, where she finds Castro slapping the prisoner in the face. Rain asks what he's doing and he tells her he's trying to get information out of this woman, with violence if necessary. Rain tells him to stop and approaches him, but he hits her with a clenched fist as well. Rain tells him he should not have done that, as she changes into a wolf and scares him away. Rain releases the prisoner and tries to start a communication with her. Regardless of the language differences, they are able to tell each other their names, as suddenly Rain is overcome by sad feelings. She starts crying because Castro's face and reaction to her transformation reminded her of how people reacted to her back in Scotland. People she had known for her entire life still thought her to be a monster once her mutant power started manifesting. She wonders if she's truly evil deep inside, just like people tend to see her. She says that the only time she's truly happy is in wolf form. Everything just becomes transparently clear to her that way, and she wonders if it's the best for her to stay that way forever. She asks if Amara had understood the words she said, and she's happy she didn't. She makes her way back up and plans on telling Nina all about Castro's transgressions, but when she gets upstairs on the deck, she finds the captain lying on the floor, dead, with an arrow sticking out from his back. Someone behind her says that she'll be joining him soon, and as she turns around, she gets struck with the blunt end of a rifle by Castro. She gets knocked out, and when she wakes up again, she finds herself in the cabin with the other team members, Nina and Amara. Roberto's waking up as well and tells her that they got them all by putting drugs in their food. He wonders why he didn't finish them off for good. He powers up his sunspot and smashes the door. He figures this was just another attempt to stop his mother's expedition, just like the attack on her in the city of Rio. The boat seems to be adrift and the current is pulling them into the dangerous waters the captain had warned them about earlier. He tries to get control of the boat by grabbing the steering wheel, but finds out that the engines have been destroyed by the crew who seem to have disappeared themselves. Roberto tells Rain to wake the rest of them up, fast, as the boat is making its way to a waterfall. When it plummets down, it crashes on a rock in the middle of the stream and gets wrecked to bits and pieces. The ice-cold water wakes up Sam and he reacts instantly, using his powers as cannonball, and he pulls Danielle out of the water. Roberto's trying to save his mother using his powers as well, confident that his mutant ability will keep them both safe. But a piece of wood smashes him in the back of his head, making it clear that there's a distinct difference between immense strength and invulnerability. He can't reach his mother and gets pulled down by the undertow. And if it wasn't for Sam, he would have surely drowned. Sam doesn't see Roberto's mother as he pulls Roberto out from deep underwater. He'll come back and search for her some more once he's dropped Roberto safely on the shore with Danielle. Rain is able to safely jump from one rock to another by using her wolf and half-wolf form, right to where she can reach the prisoner Amara. She grabs her by the arm, but the current is so strong it almost pulls her off the rock she's holding onto. She's able to hold herself steady, but it keeps pulling Amara under. Suddenly, Rain notices Amara's skin and hair having changed. Apparently she was a white girl with blonde hair all along, disguising herself as one of the natives of the region. Rain's desperately telling Amara to do something and to try and save herself. To grab a rock or kick with her legs, to try and swim, something, anything. If only Amara could understand her. But Amara then responds in English, at which point Rain realizes she could understand her all along, including when Rain poured out her heart, telling her things she wouldn't dare telling even her best friends. She feels like her trust has been betrayed by the stranger, but yet cannot let her drown. She changes into half-wolf form and gathers up strength to pull her up on the rock. Rain now has a lot of questions for the girl, and knowing what she knows now, there's no way she gets away easily playing dumb, not knowing how to speak or understand English. Sam approaches Rain, asking her if she has seen Nina and who the girl is. Rain tells him it's a supposed native he captured, which confuses Sam, but she also tells him that she has not seen Nina. When the three of them arrive on the shore without Nina, Roberto loses it. Sam grabs a hold of him, telling Roberto they will do what they can to find his mother, but they're lucky to even be alive to begin with right now. At that moment, they're being told to stand still. They can't believe their eyes when they see the people who are threatening them are clothed in armor worn by Roman legionaries, and that they are now prisoners and slaves to Imperial Rome. Thanks for watching this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because that will help me out in growing this channel and being able to produce more videos like this one. See you next episode.